can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fuck it.
And with that, we bring you into the first live daily puck drop. It's Monday, September 9th. Look at all the brand new things we have, all the bells and whistles. But, of course, Jim Moore is here as well. It's Jason Puckett. That's my name, and it's the daily puck drop here, Monday, September 9th. Jimbo, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Puck. It's exciting to be part of this new venture you're doing it live. Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I got sweaty palms about this. Are you nervous about this?
Do you? Am I nervous? Yeah, of course I'm nervous about it. I got to make sure that everything is like up and running, and hopefully that everything is connected.
Okay,
yeah,
listen.
Of course,
out
I'm
of
nervous
all...
about it. I think you should be nervous about it because you're doing. Here's the deal: like when we've recorded this stuff before, when we've done the other shows. I mean, that thing is we're recorded. If we screw up, we can start over. There's no starting over right now. This is it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, out of all the guests you have, Jim Duquette, Ryan Divish, everybody, all the whole list of people, Brad Adam. Where do I rate on people that you are worried the most about screwing up and not connecting with?
Actually, not you. I'm not worried about you.
Well, it seems like you are, though. You wanted to make sure I was on at 9:45 and that everything was going to be hooked up okay.
Oh, that was just that. You know what? More about me. That's just more about me making sure that everything was running smoothly. I actually don't even think that was about you. I'm actually, when you're at home, it's fine.
Well, no, it was fine last Friday. Wasn't it fine last Friday from a picnic table at Madras?
It was. Whatever that jetpack thing you have, that wireless is actually pretty damn good.
No, I know. That's why I have it, because you can get online wherever you are, unless you're in a bad zone somewhere. But yeah, I'm glad you're okay with that, because I want to do more of that.
Yeah. Well, let's not push the envelope. Let's not push the envelope. We don't need that. Hey, it's the Daily Puck Drop. This is day one. Every day we'll be going live. Now, though, everything will continue to be podcasted. All the guests will continue to be up there. My goal is to have everything up by 1 o'clock. We'll try to take this from 10 to 11:30 is kind of the game plan. And then everything will be up there at about 1 o'clock, and then we'll have. So I know a lot of people have grown accustomed to a lot of this stuff, listening to it later and listening to it at a certain time. And I know as much as we've talked about it, there's still going to be people that are going, hey, what happened? Where's the Daily Puck Drop? Why didn't it drop at 10 o'clock today like it normally does? So I know we'll get some of that. But again, all of the other stuff just will be up there and will be broadcast. I promise. And we'll have it all. We'll have it all.
Well, how's it going to work? At 1 o'clock, are you going to have the full hour and a half show, or are you going to separate? Like, here's Jim Duquette, here's the Seahawks Roundtable with Curtis and Tim Booth.
Yeah, we'll do all that. Yeah. It's all going to be. What do you mean? Say that again.
Well, I mean, are they going to have their own separate little deals that you drop at 1, or is it just going to be all part of the hour and a half show that you're doing?
Well, it'll all be part of kind of the hour and a half show. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I got to figure out what's going on. We're not on YouTube. I knew there was going to be something that was going to happen. There's something that goes on with YouTube. I don't know what I did wrong, but I think it's a privacy setting, so we'll have to change it there on YouTube to get that up and running. So my apologies to those who wanted to watch it there on YouTube. All right, so as you can see, as we got the rundown here of the show, we got Mike Macdonald's debut. We'll do Overreaction Monday, college football weekend recap. We'll talk about the Apple Cup because, of course, that's coming up this week. Let's first start with Mike Macdonald, huh? Before I get it, I want to get into your weekend. By the way, because you were in Pullman, I want to get into your weekend. Give me the latest before we get to your weekend in Pullman. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the debut of Mike Macdonald.
I thought it was fantastic. Didn't you? I mean, the first half. I listened to the first half driving up from Pullman to Bend or down to Bend, and the first half I thought. Not good. The defense was good. I was trying to think, Puck, and we need Alex Mayer to get on this one because I didn't see it in anybody's story. But when was the last time an NFL team won a game when they had two? First of all, when was the last time an NFL team had two safeties in one game? And when was the last time an NFL team won with two safeties? Typically, if you have two safeties, you're just shitty for 60 minutes and you're not going
Right.
to win the game. So, to only be down 13-9 at halftime after having two safeties,
Right.
and, you had the muffed punt, the interception on the first play of the game, second play of the game.
Yep.
So yeah, I just saw it, and then I liked his presence in the locker room afterwards too. I just thought it was great, and the way Gino gave him the game ball. I liked that closer game ball that he had, that catch that Lockett made, the throw that Smith made to get it to him. Yeah, it was all good stuff. It was a good start. And yeah, you can temper it if you want. I know that that's what we do because you have to add in that it was Bo Nix on the road, rookie quarterback making his first start. They dumbed down the offense for Nix. You could see that. He was just doing the little check down things. I mean, they weren't trying to, push it downfield much, but still, all in all, not a whole lot to complain about outside of the first half because they made adjustments. They made adjustments.
No, they didn't make adjustments. There's no such thing as adjustments. That's the most played out.
No, but you're supposed to say that.
I know.
You're supposed to say that.
It's
it
the
makes
most
you sound
played out.
Smart.
It's the most played out cliche in the history of football. There are anyone that plays football will tell you there's no adjustments. There's none. I can't say adjustments for some reason. There's none. They don't have enough time to make adjustments. All he did was simply just run the ball differently. He just ran the ball more. And then just like offensive line needed to pick it up. I mean, the offensive line in the first half was about the worst offensive line play. Jim, you've been watching football a lot longer than me because you're older. And we have established that a lot on the show. That was the worst performance in the history of Seahawks football on the offensive line. It was terrible.
Okay, so it took you 7.5 minutes in before we got the first old joke, the old crack.
Yeah, that's
7.5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So how long should it take me to, say something about that?
The weight? Well, go ahead, but that's where I'm wearing black, and then I, as you can see on the video, I kind of blocked myself up so you can't really see me. Yeah, let's go ahead, make fun of the guy's weight. I know that's your MO.
Yeah, go ahead and make fun of a guy being old.
So I feel like it's an easy target.
A guy who's taking time out of his day to help a buddy. Okay, and you're giving me shit, but that's what we do here. What were you talking about, McDonald?
I'm just talking about the offensive line. I mean, that offensive line. I mean, that in the first half, my God, it was so bad. Bradford was terrible. Fant goes down with an injury. They couldn't block anybody, and I think they just whether it's play. I mean, Ryan Grubb really should get the gold star for the game. He just, as everyone talked about afterwards, he didn't panic and he stayed with the running game. They ran some different plays. It looked like. To attack the outside, and Kenneth Walker, they just ran better. I think they just executed better. I don't know how much they.
Yeah, but how can you go from better execution, better blocking? How can you go from one half to the next half and look like world beaters the way they did moving the ball? I mean, it was just. But
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, clearly great to see, but the defense was the thing that really stood out to me. I mean, how good was that defense? I mean, those guys were flying around.
Oh.
I mean,
Right.
Baker and Dodson, we were wondering about them, and I don't think anybody missed Bobby yesterday, did they? I mean, it was kind of fun to see.
Now, let me ask you, again, we go back to the years of you watching football. Was that the best tackling performance you've ever seen from a defense?
Yeah, it seems that way, especially with what we've seen over the last few years. Missed tackles. I mean, I don't know what Denver's yak was, but it couldn't have been much. I mean, yeah. You got to throw out acronyms too. We're always doing that in baseball. Might as well throw it out in football too. But no, they were on it. They were really on it. The defense gets an A, doesn't it?
Of course, it gets an A. My God, they I don't think they missed a single tackle. Not one tackle did they miss. No, I didn't miss Bobby Wagner. That's not to disrespect Bobby Wagner. And then we talked a lot in this offseason about Baker and Dodson. I didn't know what to expect. You didn't really see these guys play at all, but great. So everybody was great. I mean, the opponent plays a part in it. You got to remember you're playing a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. So, you have to enter that into the conversation when you talk about the defense. They played a rookie quarterback in his very first start in a hostile environment. He's going to be nervous. He looked the part at times. They didn't push the ball downfield. Whether that was Nick's decision or Sean Payton just didn't want to really put him at much risk, they just didn't do it. But no, they played with speed. They had different blitzes. They had guys coming off the edges. That secondary was fantastic. It was fun. It was fun.
Really,
the first half wasn't fun, but
the only downside, and of course I would look at it from a betting perspective, was allowing that touchdown that enabled the Broncos to cover the 6.5 point spread.
Yeah, oh God, I forgot about that. That's what was the line with 6.5.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, 6.5. And then the over bettors were happy with that garbage time touchdown too, because it pushed it over.
Yeah.
So,
God,
but
that's amazing.
I mean, that's just a quibble. I don't think the thing is, like Lockett made a great catch. And I still think, though, that even if he hadn't caught it, if Denver had gotten the ball, do you think Bo Nix would have taken his team down the field again? I mean, you run the risk of that happening, certainly, but I still think that they would have shut him down. But no, all in all, I thought it was a great debut, especially after what they did in the first half to come back and play the way they did in the second.
Well, it is the Daily Puck Drop. It's our first live edition of the Daily Puck Drop. Well, that first one. We've done one in the past, but first on a regular basis here on Monday, September 9th. Of course, broadcasting from the Puck Sports Studios. I forgot to get this in earlier. Built by Limback Lumber, the brand new sign behind us. Contractors, they offer free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects, and they got the largest stock moldings in the Northwest. Old school service because they've been doing it since 1930. Give them a call at Limback Lumber, 206-782-3487. Visit them online, limbacklumber.com. That was the sign I told you, the father of Washington State. Oh, there's a thumbs up. It really does that? Well, how about that? How about a double thumbs up? Do we get a double thumbs up?
That was
how
cool.
about that? Look at that. What is that? I've never even who the heck? That's awesome. Flip me off, Jim. Let's see if it does anything for flipping you off. If you did this, does that do anything?
What happened to you? Why do you have a bandage on your finger?
Oh, hold on. I got one of those like where you hedge your trees, that little, like, it looks like a little chainsaw.
Yeah.
I'm hedging the bushes, and I sliced my finger with it.
What, did you not have your finger on the handle or what?
I had my left hand. I was pulling some branches down, and then I had the chainsaw trying to do it, and lucky I didn't cut the damn thing off. God.
Nice work.
Yeah, nice work. So that sign built by the father of Gary Rogers, the former Wazoo quarterback, who has a connection there with Limback Lumber. Yeah. And his name is Gary Rogers as well. So thank you to Gary Rogers Sr. How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Tomorrow when you do the live Daily Puck Drop, you might want to get Limback Lumber in a little sooner.
Yeah, that's a good call. Thank you. Limback Lumber, 206-782-3487. Visit them online at limbacklumber.com. Oh, speaking of Limback Lumber, do you know who they're so I've talked a lot about Mark and Matt and Paul, okay? Paul and Mark, would you care to guess their last name? Because there's a connection with you.
Okay. Duncan, no.
Hunsinger.
Mike Hunsinger.
That Paul is Mike Hunsinger's brother.
Really?
And they wanted to say hello. They had mentioned it when I was talking to Paul, and Paul goes, "Oh, yeah, Mark, he loves Jim." I mean, they have a love-hate relationship because of the trial and all that one. But just say hi from Mark Hunsinger to Jim Moore. How about that?
Yeah, it's Mike and
Mike. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, just for listeners who don't know and maybe don't even care, but I'll tell you why it's interesting to me anyway, and maybe to you. Mike Hunsinger was the guy that every time a Husky football player got in trouble, he represented them. And so I was writing columns at the time, and he was really good-natured about it. Typically a guy like him in his position will get uptight when a reporter calls because he's representing a kid that's in trouble and trying to get him off, whatever it is, so that they can continue to play. And I was always giving him shit about that, and he was just good-natured about it, and he would always laugh about it. The Jeremy Stevens one was the all-timer. So when he went into the rest home, and then tried to get out, and he needed to use a Husky sweatshirt to get extra traction to get out of the flower bed, and Mike
I don't
always
remember that part of the
represented the
story.
Jeremy. You don't remember? Do you remember that one?
I remember him crashing into the old age home. I don't remember him having to use a sweatshirt to get traction to get his truck out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that's
and I
awesome.
went to interview the lady where he ran into the building. I went
Mhm.
to interview her a few days later, or a week later, and she died. I mean, she didn't die from Jeremy hitting the building, but she
Okay.
died from natural causes or whatever. And so, yeah, I
Okay.
missed out on that interview.
You missed out on that interview.
No, Hunsinger's a beauty.
So they
He's a
say
beauty.
hello, and then I was talking to his sister, and his sister was telling me that back in, and I think we're past the statute of limitations here. Back in the day, the old Tyee Club, which Mike was a part of, when they had like these slush funds for all the players and stuff, all the bunch of players worked there at Limback Lumber, including your favorite Husky,
Billy Joe Hobart.
Hugh Millen.
Oh, Hugh worked there?
Hugh worked at Limback Lumber with Mark. Is it Mark Pattinson, right? Was his wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
For Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Mark and Hugh worked there. Hugh worked there. They're like, oh yeah, Hugh. And they showed it to me out in the alley by Limback Lumber, which is down in Ballard, by the way. There, he goes, he painted that wall. He painted that wall over there. Hugh Millen. That's when back in the day when like the Tyee Club was finding jobs for all the football players.
Did they say what kind of worker Hugh was?
They said he was very talkative and long-winded.
You just had to ask him one question, and then he went on for like 13 minutes.
We asked him one question, and then we came back 9 hours later, and he still was talking about that. And he kept saying to us, in my mind's eye, I think we should do it this way.
That doesn't surprise me. I listened to Hugh this morning. He's still doing the hardcore thing.
Good. Oh, that's good. Let's promote that. Let's promote that. That'd be... Let's promote Hugh's appearance.
Can't we get Limback Lumber to pay Hugh more money and then pry him away from KJR?
We can try. We can do our best if you like. We can try whatever. What do you want to try? I mean, what do you want to do?
I don't know, but I want to hear more about the cover and the deep safety and
You want to hear more about that?
Yeah, gap integrity. I miss gap integrity. Why don't you talk gap integrity more?
Does it look like I could talk about gap integrity?
God, there's so many people covering the Seahawks now, and I just feel like, I apologize to the listeners because I don't know what the fuck's going on half the time. But God, these people just seem to have every zone coverage and every blitz scheme and all this different stuff.
Are you talking about like reporters?
I'm going, man, Puck, if you want me for that, I'm sorry.
No, but do you find that, okay, now listen, I don't find that fun.
Yeah, but God,
I don't get into all 22. I mean, all 22 doesn't get it. That doesn't do it for me.
Well, I saw Corbin Smith, and I love Corbin. I think he does a good job for SI.com, Locked on Seahawks podcast.
Yeah, they all do a great job.
No, they do, but I mean, he was just like on Twitter last night going, God, I can't wait to break this down on the all 22. And then, I know there's going to be a video showing whatever the coverage was, and I'm just like, hey, man, what's the point spread on the game? I really do not give two flying fucks about any of that shit. And it's probably just my lack of knowledge, I just kind of.
Well, I think there's two separate.
Well,
there's two separate, like sports fans, right? I mean, you're the sports fan that is into that, right? That is kind of in the X's and O's, like junior, like coach type of. Well, let's break down the film. But then there's like sports fans, which I think a majority of us are like we want to sit back and have a drink and sitting at the bar. I mean, that's what I
know. I just feel like I'm yelling at a cloud, though. Like when 3 technique comes up, I still don't know what that is, or 5 technique. And then, why we had to go from weak side linebacker to Will and middle linebacker to Mike. And what's the other one? Oh, Sam. Strong side linebacker.
That's always bothered you.
Yeah. So anyway, you're not going to get that from me, Puck. I apologize.
Nor do I want that. Nor do I want that from you.
So you could call my segment what? Softcore football. It's not hardcore.
Let's call it softcore porn. Softcore porn football with Jim Moore. Hey, a win's a win. They moved on. They didn't look great. I thought of you when Gino was struggling so much in the first half.
Oh yeah.
God, I thought of you so much because I could just hear you. And I said it on X. I could just hear you talk about how, oh my God, can we get Sam Howell into the game?
Yeah. Well, Sam Howell probably will do better when things are breaking down because he can improvise a little better than Gino. But no, Gino was great. He was good in the second half, the running game. I mean, it all came together in the second half, fortunately.
Yeah. All right, we've got Curtis Crabtree and Tim Booth will be coming up at bottom of the hour. We'll go a little long. I already told those guys. I said, there's no way that Jim and I are going to squeeze in a half an hour, and that's going to be it. I need to hear about your time in Pullman. How was it? Drunken debacle of your time in Pullman as the Cougs were able to get past Texas Tech? I mean, just kind of kick their ass all over the field. God, that was nice.
No, I'm disappointed in myself a little bit because I'm kind of more of a grown up than I used to be, and I'm trying to think. Oh wait, okay, I got to thank Luke. And there's a lot of people I need to thank, and I won't take too much time doing it. I want to thank everybody that sent me money on Venmo.
How much are you up to now?
I meant to write it down. It was like $150, and to help me with moving expenses because I'm having issues with the guy across the cul-de-sac.
Sure, everybody knows
over our dogs. Okay, so I really appreciate everyone that donated to me, and that was very nice. Very nice of them.
Do we have so how much money did you 100 and how much?
It was $155. One guy gave me $54, and you know why?
Why?
54%, and he said "fuck Jerry" with his comment.
How about the Mariners? They're back at it. They're pulling you back in. They're 3.5 out of the wild card and 4.5 now out of the division. Are you believing again?
I was surprised. I saw Kevin Martinez's tweet, and I was like, 3.5 back in the wild card?
Wow. Yeah,
that surprised me. Well, the Twins are fading, and the Mariners are starting to play better. They're simplifying things with Edgar, apparently. Did they simplify things Saturday when they had 3 hits?
See, that's what I love. I mean, yes, it's looked better, and I love how JP came out. It was Friday night about how we're simplifying things if things overcomplicate, and literally the next night they looked like the same team. So it's
are you back in?
No.
I feel like I have a toe in the water. I'm not
a toe in the water. Yeah. No, I just think it's gonna. I think they may win a few more games and play better, but painfully they'll come again right to the end, right, and they'll miss it by a game or two. And we're just going to have to sit here and listen to, all this noise about how close we were. And, oh, my God, the future is bright. And then DePoto's going to get up there and talk about the next wave, right? The next wave of talent that's coming. That's not really coming next year, but he's going to convince everybody that's coming next year. So, no.
Okay, but what about so wait a minute. Last Friday, you and I agreed we wanted them to go 0-21 the rest of the way, so we could avoid that scenario you're just laying out there.
Yeah.
Are you still thinking? I hope they lose.
Yeah. What is it? 18? I hope they lose 18 games.
Are you really? Even though they're only 3.5 back?
I know. I'm a terrible fan. I'm just terrible. Just terrible. I'm so, but again, as we've talked about fans, right? We're hypocritical. We're hypocrites. I can change my mind if they make the playoffs. I'm not out. I get to come back if I want to.
I think you're like me though. Like if they went winless the rest of the way, how would it look? Jerry would have egg on his face. Stanton would have egg on his face, and then how would that press conference go? Like how can you justify keeping Jerry DePoto now?
Well, that's the thing is I want to see. Don't you want to see that press conference?
Yeah. See, and Puck, they can't even be. If they finish 1 game out or 2 games out, it's going to be exactly like you said. It's like we were this close, and with this new wave of players coming in, yeah, that's what we're going to get. Yeah, but yet we'll be once they make the playoffs, we'll be sitting there going, okay, what about the rotation? That was tough news about Castillo, especially for a guy like me who bet on him to start game 1 of the playoffs.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about our long-term bet on that one.
Yeah.
You have Castillo starting game. Well, do we have an update on Castillo yet? Do we know anything? He was getting an MRI. That's all I know.
I expected you to have the update because you're running the ship, but
I was hoping that. I mean, I got a lot going on here on my plate. I was hoping maybe you'd have an update on it. for God's sakes.
No, it's just what I read in the paper or online.
Yeah, I don't think there's any update yet on whether or not they got the off day today. Houston got slapped around yesterday. Houston, I don't think, is playing again today, and so again, there'll be no room for the Mariners to make up any room there on the Astros. But all right, we missed the whole topic here. How was Pullman? Did you overserve yourself? You started thanking a bunch of people, and you never got into your time in Pullman.
Oh, well, I wanted to thank Luke, too, from Cougar Collective, because he
Sure.
came to Mikey's apartment. He dropped off a case of Old Crimson.
Yeah.
Sky wants in right now. And so, yeah, I met Luke and talked to him about the partnership that he's got here with pucksports.com. And it was really interesting to hear the inner workings of the collective and different things about different players, especially the stuff about our basketball team. But it's just a new world. And just to hear Luke talk about how they're trying to navigate that and put the Cougs in the best position possible, knowing that we're going to get outbid by a lot of other schools. You look at Mateer, and yeah, we're all thrilled at what he's doing right now, but he's going to go from whatever he's making this year, probably low six figures. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but John Mateer, if he keeps playing the way that he is, and I don't think his passing wasn't great the other night, but he also had some drops, and he's going to be fine throwing the ball. But at the end of the year, he's going to be in demand like Cam Ward if he keeps playing like this.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the case everywhere. I mean, it's like.
But it's
like with
tougher
all of
for us.
guys.
It's tougher for us to keep guys like that.
Well, of course it is. I mean, it's what the great. That's why you have to go to the CougarCollective.org and sign up for $18.90.
That's on my list of things to do today.
Okay.
Oh, that was okay. You talked about was I just some sort of wild drunk on Saturday? Not really,
yeah,
but played 9 holes with my kids over at U of I, the golf course over there. That golf course is underrated, I think.
Why didn't you play Palouse Ridge?
Because I'm a dumbass and I waited too long to get a tee time. And it's booked on a Saturday in September there.
Well, that's the best way to do it. The best time to play there is at a game like that, and you play you tee off at around 3 o'clock because no one will be on it, and then you can play it in 3 hours. That's your tailgating, and then you go right to the game.
Yeah. No, so we had a couple beers on the golf course, and then came back, and I had to stop at Crimson and Gray and drop about $300 or $400 on myself, my kids, my granddaughter. Crimson and Gray was packed.
Of course,
it's
always
like my new. What do you think of my new hat?
It's a good looking hat.
Yeah,
it's a solid. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
you always got to pick up something there.
Yeah, and then it was my idea when we got back to the apartment. Mikey's roommate Van was there, and I said, "Hey guys, you want to chug an Old Crimson before we leave?" So we pulled out the red Solo cups, poured them in there, chugged them down, and then
good for you.
We were off to the races there. But I only had like 3 or 4 beers before I went to the game, and a couple shots of Jameson, and that was it.
4 beers and 2 shots of Jameson, and you're like, yeah, I took it easy.
Yeah, a couple Rainiers along the way. Yeah, no, it wasn't.
So wait a minute. So
I might have blown.
Hold on. Huh? 4 at the apartment, 2 more on the way, and then 2 shots of Jameson.
I had I had 2 beers on the golf course. Chugged 1 at the apartment.
3.
2 Rainiers with Dave Pridemore, my former boss there at 710.
Yeah, that's 5.
And then 2 shots of Jameson.
So 5 beers and 2 shots of Jameson.
Yeah.
And quote
over like a 3-hour period.
I was hoping you'd say over an hour period, hour and a half. I mean,
that was it.
Took it easy. All right, so
it wasn't hungover Sunday or anything.
So you're a professional, that's why. Yeah. So it's Apple Cup Hate Week. Is it weird? The week September 9th, it's Apple Cup.
It's weird, but we've talked about it. I mean, we're catching the Huskies at a good time, and then look how well we've played. I think the combination, and then we've got the incentive, that intangible of, I just, I know I say this every year, and of course, oh God, Moore's going to he's picking the Cougs. God, what a shocker. But don't you think we're going to win this year? Everything just sets up well for us. I mean, come on. I've already bet $200 on it. They're giving us points. Are you kidding me?
They better win. I mean, honestly, they better win. If they don't beat this team, I mean, honestly, Washington's not a good defense. They just not. They
Yeah,
got to
you were
be
telling
good.
me. I mean, I haven't really seen the Huskies, but you're saying their front seven, they're not that good.
No, it's not that good. I mean, I know. And listen, someone's going to fall back on. I can hear Jordan Ruffett like yelling at me. They're going to fall back and look how many points they've given up. Okay, fine. But both those teams at times, now they stiffened up in the red zone and all that. But both those teams were able to move the ball, especially on the ground, at will against them.
Yeah.
I mean, John Mateer should have a huge game. Parker should have a good game. Pelosi should have a good game. They should be able to move the ball on the ground. I don't know if they're going to be able to throw it. I mean, Texas Tech was terrible defensively. We couldn't do anything in the passing game, so that concerns me. And Washington's secondary is real good. So
We were looking up at the scoreboard after the third quarter, and we were up by 3 touchdowns or whatever. We
thinking
had
about how
100
we're going to
yards,
blow it.
100 yards passing at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we all looked at each other going, yeah, typically we should be the ones that are down 34-10.
Yeah.
If we only have 100 yards passing after 3 quarters.
And you're like, and the thing is you're like that on the day that they honored Mike Leach, right? They can't throw the ball.
No,
they run the ball all over the place. I mean, Mateer's an X factor. Any defensive coordinator would tell you, you have a mobile quarterback like that, scares the life out of you. I don't know how they'll defend him. I mean, honestly, when the play breaks down, he can do stuff that not a lot of guys that play his position can do. I told you he reminds you of Jake Locker. It's probably because he wears number 10, but he runs just like him.
Okay, can I praise you for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, stop talking and I'll praise you, okay? You were the first one that I heard was like a John Mateer guy, and you were like the biggest fan ever, the president of the fan club, and good for you on that because that kid is terrific. And I don't care if he didn't throw, he had a lot of drops the other night, but man, can he zip it? He needs to get a little more touch, but that's fine. Just his second start, so he'll be fine. And then what he can do on the ground. So you were right on about that. You were also right on about Wayshawn Parker. You saw him in that scrimmage when you went over there to talk to Dickert, and that kid's fantastic. I knew when he got the corner that even though there were guys that had the angle on him, that he was going to outrun those guys, and he did.
Yeah. He is. He's a different back. They've never had a running back like Wayshawn Parker.
Well, and you know what's cool too? I'm going to state the obvious because that's pretty much all I got. But we have a running game, and when you're ahead, how nice is it going to be to have a running game when you're trying to salt away the clock? We could never do that with the air raid. We couldn't do it, and now we can.
Jonah Coleman scares the life out of me. He should scare the life out of you. Will Rogers played better in that second game, so I mean, it's odd. I crushed the over. I mean, I don't bet on him because I can't deal with the stress. I take the over. What is the over? 55.5? 53.5?
Okay, I love you, Puck, but
I can't do it. I can't bet
on the Cougs this week. No. Why?
Because it drives. I can't do it. It's too stressful for me. The game is
going to be stressful anyway.
So you just add money onto it.
If you take the 4 and let's say we lose by 3, it's a consolation prize.
I get. You know what? You make a good point.
God.
You do.
I mean, I don't. Okay, the only times I don't like betting on the Cougs is when we're favored. And I'll just go money line when we're favored, because if we're favored by 6 and we win by 5, I don't want to be disappointed that I lost my bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not favored that often.
Okay. Are you going or not? No, you're not going.
No, I'm not going because my daughter planned a granddaughter's second birthday party on Saturday. So now I'm in the process. It's at 3 o'clock, and that's right when the fourth quarter will be starting. And so I told her, I go, I asked her today, do you guys have Peacock? And that's going to be the question all week, especially for cyber dummies like me.
Oh, just for anybody.
You got to have Peacock to watch this game.
I know.
So it's Monday, the game's Saturday. Let's everybody try and get ahead of this. And don't be like me with the CW a couple weeks ago.
Everybody get it. Well, you know what? But the CW thing, too, is that did you finally – I can't remember. Do you have YouTube or Fubo?
I've got regular YouTube.
You don't have YouTube TV?
I don't have YouTube TV, but I'm going to get it before the next game.
Yeah, it's on that. Yeah.
It's on YouTube TV this week, too?
No. It's
no, Peacock is.
What I'm saying is, like Fubo, if you ever decide to go Fubo, it's not on Fubo.
I assume that.
People need to know that. The CW network does not carry Fubo. So
yeah. What about Peacock?
That's just like a separate stream. You can't keep up with all of it. I'm with you, man. It's unbelievable. It really is stupid.
No,
It's
hey, Puck,
stupid
come
how
on.
much.
Come on. We win by double digits this week. We win by double digits. We do.
This is
We do. This is easy money.
I don't like when
This
you
is
do
easy money,
this.
and Vegas is giving us points, and we have the better team.
Yeah,
Come
this
on.
is what makes me nervous about you. You start.
Don't we have the better
this.
team? I knew we were going to beat Texas Tech. Didn't you?
No, I thought it would be I thought we'd win. I didn't think that we would win like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, here's what I want to. I want a double-digit victory, and I'm hoping that somewhere at Lumen Field that they've got that fucking Big Ten logo. Okay. Okay, I want the Big Ten logo on the field, and then I want us to just like dance on that sucker after the game's over. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Plant the
what I
flag
want.
on it.
Dance on the Big Ten logo.
Here's what I want. I want to step further. One step further, okay? If we win, when we win, I want to take a flag. I want to take a Pac-12 flag, okay? And I want to plant the Pac-12 flag on the logo.
Okay, that'd be good.
That's what I want to do.
That's even better.
Yeah, that's even better.
Is there a Pac-2 flag that we could have?
I'm sure we can have one made if you own a business that makes flags.
Yeah.
Let's get a Pac-2 flag and let's make it. Can
That's
we do
even
that?
better. Okay, 2-team parlay this week. That's a no-brainer. Taking Oregon State in 16 and the Cougs in 4. Or just go money line with it. We need the Beavs to beat Oregon, too. How cool would that be if we beat Washington and the Beavs beat Oregon?
The Beavs are averaging like 290 yards on the ground. And Oregon can't stop it. First of all, can I do the Oregon? We'll get more into this with Canzano tomorrow. That dude cannot coach. He is so over his skis as a football coach, Dan Lanning. It's unbelievable.
Well, either that or, Boise State's got a good team. Maybe Idaho might be halfway decent this year. They beat Wyoming for whatever that's worth.
That's true. And Boise's good, and Boise's going to give us all fits when we play him in a few weeks. That running back is just a beast. So God,
planting the flag on the Big Ten logo. I love that.
Yeah,
and
we're going to plant the flag.
Do they go to Rutgers next week? Enjoy your flight, fellas. God, can you imagine them going, God, we're going to play at Rutgers in New Jersey. Let's go. Yeah.
Hey, let's get to the Hawk's Nest with Curtis Crabtree and Tim Booth. Let's do a little crosstalk. You want to talk to Curtis Crabtree and Mr. Tim Booth, the Associated Press. There's Curtis Crabtree. Curtis, say hello to Jim Moore as we do a little crosstalk before we move on. There's Tim Booth. Tim Booth was in Pullman. He covered that fantastic football game. Gentlemen, welcome. How are you, Tim? Everything good? How was Pullman? Treat you nice?
Pullman was great. I didn't have the opportunity to see one Jim Moore while I was there, but my time in Pullman was excellent. Got to go have dinner with a former coworker out in Moscow on Friday night, and got to stay at the Davenport back up in Spokane. So yeah, it was a good trip.
Well, I mean, the Davenport. You didn't get the Davenport stay, did you, Jim Moore?
No, I didn't. Which Davenport? There's like 3 of them up there.
I was at the Towers. The original. Well, the Grand is like the best one. That's my favorite one to stay at.
Yeah, that's the old school one, right?
No, the Grand is the new one. The one that's down across from the park.
Yeah.
The original is nice, but I haven't stayed at the original in a long time. I usually end up the Towers is what the NCAA usually uses for like when they have the NCAA the basketball tournaments and stuff there. So. That's usually where I've ended up staying in the past is the Towers. It's fine. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for giving me a call while you were in Pullman. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Jim, I was in Pullman. You can do the same thing. You can reach out and say hi too. It's a two-way street here. By the way, since you don't know how to use Pro Football Reference, I looked up your question of the last time a team gave up 2 safeties in a game and won. And it was the Arizona Cardinals in 2011 against the St. Louis Rams. They won 19-13 in overtime and gave up 2 safeties in the third quarter of that game to the Rams.
That's really impressive. Thank you, Tim.
You don't need Alex Mayer, okay? Alex doesn't need to answer every question that you have. Alex is great. He's fantastic. He doesn't need to answer every question that you have along the way.
Yeah, but you know what? We love having the Alex Mayer reference. Okay, that's what we need. We need that more than anything.
Okay,
all right, Jim, Curtis, did you get all your audio situation set up?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Laptop's not working for some reason. I don't know.
Okay.
What this is.
Jim, we'll talk to you back on Wednesday for another edition of the Daily Puck
Well,
Drop.
can I
sir.
say hi to Curtis before I leave? Hi, Curtis. How's your golf
Yes.
game?
Hi, Jim. It's not as good as I want this year, but that's okay.
Okay.
It's been good.
All right. Good. I
So
shot
that's
40 the other day, by the way, at the U of I course. I was really proud of myself.
Oh,
Did
nice.
you really?
Hey, thanks for the invite to play golf. Appreciate it.
Shut the hell up, Booth. What qualifies you to be part of this Seahawks roundtable? Usually they get these roundtable guys that know what they're talking about with the team.
I don't
Give us
know.
your
Hey,
qualifications.
ask the host. He's the one. I don't think of myself as qualified, so I don't know.
Is he paying you guys? Is he paying you, Curtis?
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands. Thousands.
All right, have fun, Puck. Have fun, Curtis.
All right, buddy. We'll talk
love
to you
you,
on
Bruce.
Wednesday.
Love you too,
All right,
Jim.
go Cougs.
All right, there's Jim Moore, who will join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday there on the Daily Puck Drop.